So I'm going to put everything into one tool. And so the next thing to do here is to delete everything that we have in terms of the topology, or I guess the lower version of subdivision. And we need to now pick the side that we want to use. The reason why I do it is because when we create a character, it has to be symmetrical, right? So every scan that we have here, even if they're standing in a T-pose, it's not going to be symmetrical. Nobody is perfectly symmetrical. But the way we do it in video games, at least for now, it's symmetry is required. That's why we need to create a symmetry in here as well. I've noticed that the line, the symmetry line, is well, it's kind of offset, right? We are cutting some of the part of this leg, so we're ending up having a tail, and at the same time, the line of the symmetry line is not matching with the line that is separating the pecs. So we need to do something about that, and one thing to do is to simply move the whole thing just a little bit to the side and try it again. So this is better, right? So we don't have a tail, and the legs, they're closer to each other. There is still a problem with the pecs, obviously, because we moved the line even further from the center. But this is easy to fix, and we can see where the mirror is going to happen by just activating the symmetry, right? So this is where the dots match. This is going to be the line of the symmetry. So what I need to do is I need to move everything here, right? And then check again. And at the same time, I'm going to move the body in here as well, and just kind of going with my mouse and just seeing where everything is. Okay, let's try it again. Mirror and weld. That's pretty good. This is looking quite strange. Yeah, almost like a flower. This is the top. There's some leaves. It's going to be a stem. Yeah, a bit strange looking, but I think it's still useful. I'm checking from different angles. I'm looking at the amount of shoulder that we are losing. Right, this side is clearly way longer than this side. So when we do the symmetry, we are losing quite a bit of that, which is, I guess, it's fine. We're going to just sculpt everything afterwards anyway. So I'll probably use that. Okay, that's good. So I'm not going to be using his head. So this is pretty good for the legs and for the pecs. Definitely not going to be using this thing, this area, and the shoulders and the arms. They're not useful either. But this is a good start. So I'm going to now do the projections, right, from different scans. So before I do that, I'm going to store a morph target. So every single time I do that, and we can even store a layer for different parts. For example, if I'm projecting an arm from a different scan onto this one, we can have a layer called arm, right? And then we can use the slider to make the changes between those. So it would be not 100% the projection of the arm. It might be like 50%. It's not going back to the very beginning of the class, what I said about the clunky nature of the way I do things at the moment using scan data, right? Everything inside of ZBrush is not well, ZBrush is not optimized for that workflow. It needs to be either a plugin or some kind of standalone application to do those kind of things that I'm telling you about, right? Creating blends between different shapes. So for now in ZBrush it needs to be layers, but it's very crude, it's very rough. So it's not, we can use it, we can definitely use layers and store like arm, leg, body, pecs, whatever, and then see what we can do with the sliders. I'm just telling you because this is not a proper workflow or not a proper environment for this kind of for those kind of operations. It's probably not worth doing it, but it might be worth just experimenting to maybe understand better what I mean about character builder and using scan data, what it can do, right? What kind of power we do have, because we already have the scan data, we have all this 3D scans. We just need to find or create a tool that will utilize it and just create a very, very powerful thing for everybody to be able to rather quickly create beautiful characters based on real life data, which is the main goal of pretty much every 3D character out there for video games or film, right? But anyway, gonna click project. This is the change, and so if we look only at the silhouette, this is what we get to see on the silhouette. This is just how much it changes, right? So here those bumps, even though they might be quite interesting and nice, they disappear, and instead we have a nice elegant shape in here. The knees change, the shape of the bottom part of the lower part of the leg, changes as well. For better or worse, I don't know. I'm trying to capture the structure, the muscles, right? Everything else I will do manually in terms of modifying the proportions and things like that. So yeah, this is looking much better. Definitely a lot of things to sculpt. This is nowhere, I would say, well, not nowhere, but this is not this is not what this person is built like, right? What we have instead is a tall person, very, very defined, very, very muscular, very big shoulders, this kind of triangular silhouette that I was showing before, right? This shape in here. So it's not at all what Lex Fridman looks like, at least judging by the photos that I found of him. But this is a base, and this is in some sense an example of what we can do if we have scan data, what we can create using this powerful tool, albeit the workflow itself is very, very rough, very, very limited, but hopefully you can see what the potential of that can be, right? Just taking different parts, blending them together, replacing some things that we don't like. I mean, it's we can have hundreds of variations if we only had, let's say, 10 scans, right? And it's not a problem to have 10 scans somewhere to get them. So somebody, if you're watching this and you're a programmer, or if you want to do this thing, like this tool, that would be, I think it would be very, very useful. I think there would be quite a bit of resistance at first, but I'm pretty sure it would become a standard in a very near future for sure. So this is the final version, the combined, I guess, version. All the things are in place. I fixed the buttocks. I haven't cleaned up anything in here. We will definitely do some sculpting. I've also projected the abdomen as well as the obliques and the I guess the shape of the torso from another scan. This one, yes, that's right. And I think this is before and after. Yeah, so this is before, at least the body. And I've moved some areas on the shoulders because they were just too boxy, right? But this is a good start. We have everything in place. We have, well, the best, I guess, the cleanest of the elements are the legs. We have everything in place in here. The arms are okay. The pecs are not good. A lot of fixing will need to be done in here. Quite a bit of fixes in here as well. The back is okay-ish. And yeah, that's it. So because this is a quote-unquote base mesh, right? Because this model has geometry that is somewhat clean, it's going to be very easy to modify things. It's going to be easy to fix the height. For example, I want to shrink him a little bit, and by doing just that, makes him look like those, I guess, bodybuilders or circus entertainers that lifted a lot of weights, quite short but bulky. I don't know why this image comes into my head, but this is what I get. So we will need to do a lot of things. We need to slim down some things. We need to make other things perhaps bigger, some things shorter, some things longer. It's a lot of things that we need to play with. And this brings me to the crucial point of stylization, what the style is going to look like. And I want to talk, I just want to talk about it, right? I'm not going to present anything in here, no slides. I just want to theorize a little bit and maybe guide my my own creation in that way. So the way I think about it, the way I see things progressing when it comes to stylized characters, they are going to be very popular when it comes to meta, the whole digital space, the whole universe in there that Zuckerberg and other people are making. And the way I think about it is that there's probably going to be a phase where some of the stylization is going to be quite dramatic. It's going to be some very well, the characters are going to be very simplified. And actually, let me fetch a screenshot of exactly what I mean. I think I know what would be a good example of that. This is what I mean, and this is the guy who is behind the whole movement, right? Zuckerberg, and this is his avatar. He's a 3D avatar. So the way I think about it is there's probably going to be a phase where the characters are going to be more or less this kind of quality, this kind of density. It's not mobile game quality by no means, but this is still fairly simplified. And there are reasons behind it. I'm not sure 100% what they are, but my guess is that the main reason behind it is technical limitation at this point, right? Because of that, the characters are going to be simplified eventually. And this is me guessing as well, because we, for some reason, or not we, but my observations that people tend to gravitate towards realism for whatever reason, right? Making video games look more realistic, making explosions look more realistic, making all the movements more realistic, all those kind of things. Video games are just a prime example of exactly that, right? Even a film, if we look back and we compare, before it was not at the beginning, let's put it this way, at the beginning it was more theatrical, more show-like, and then eventually, gradually, it became extremely realistic, to the point of it's so realistic that you don't even want to watch it, because it's just kind of like real life. And what's the point of creating art if it's just real life, right? So there's something about it that we're chasing technology, we're chasing advances in technology, and by doing that we are trying to capture the reality as well as we can. So my guess, eventually what we will see here is pretty much what we see here, right? There's going to be real-time hair, real-time simulation, all of those things, the boring things, the things that I no longer interested in. So this phase in here is going to be probably the most fun one, and probably the stage afterwards where the tech is going to catch up. It's going to advance as well, and there's going to be a place for a lot of stylization, but quite a few things that we can do almost Pixar-like, when it's stylized, but effects and other things, they're super realistic. So there's probably going to be a process like that, starting from here onto the next stage, and then eventually super high realistic, photorealistic results. So the thing that I'm going to do here in this class is not going to be this stage necessarily. It's probably going to be the stage afterwards. It's going to be a stage somewhere in here. Or maybe it's going to be somewhere in here, right? Between this one and this one. We'll see. Just that it's fun and interesting to think about these things. And at the same time, it's probably a good thing to exercise this thought process, to get yourself prepared for whatever is going to come next, whatever is going to be popular. So an example of that is mobile video games. Before mobiles were powerful enough to run 3D video games, there was no such thing as a mobile character artist or character artist for mobile games, right? There's whole departments, the whole professions dedicated purely for that platform, purely for mobile games. So my guess is that with Meta, with everything that is happening in digital space, it's going to be that, but it's going to be somewhat more advanced because there are just different different tech, different things are in there. But what I'm trying to say is that there's going to be a whole new field dedicated to just creating the avatars, right? Creating the things that represent real people in VR. And this is really fun. It can be really fun because we don't necessarily want to create that inside of a digital space. What we want to create something interesting. And so if you can develop your style, if you can show imagination, that would be something that will allow you to stand out, and perhaps something that will make you very competitive. And this class is not about explaining things like when it comes to competition, when it comes to getting a job, nothing like that. I'm just thinking out loud that this could be a really fun, exciting time to be a character artist that can create stylized characters. So this is the class that is more about that. Personally, I enjoy doing stylized things more than I enjoy doing realistic models, and my personal style is somewhere, like I said, somewhere in between. It's between the super simplistic things and super realistic things. It's somewhere in here. So I will myself see where this will go, but I wanted to talk about it simply because we have this done, right? We have this done using scan data, and so maybe the question is, what was the point of creating everything that we see here, all the high resolution detail, all the definition of the muscles that are based on real people, right? Everything here is a real person, real muscle. If we're going to do something simple, something quote unquote simple, somewhat stylized, and the answer to that is, well, personally, I just prefer to work that way. I prefer to have some kind of foundation and then use that to either chip out or chip away some of the elements that I don't like and modify other things. For me, this is just I'm not even sure what to compare it with, but it's almost like having a piece of paper, and you see on that piece of paper that there is a character, and the character is barely traced on the paper. You can barely see some things, but you know that this is an arm, you know that this is a bicep, right? And then it's a matter of using your own knowledge and then your own imagination and the the foundation that is put in there on that piece of paper. So in some sense, for me personally, it's a more engaging process, and at the same time it's a more playful process, because I don't need to worry about constructing everything in terms of the anatomy. I don't need to worry about thinking about where this muscle needs to be, just how this needs to go, where it needs to end and connect, all of that, right? Everything is here already. So what my task now at hand is use that as a foundation to be playful and to allow my imagination to do something with those things. And this connects to what I said about the avatars, is that it's going to be about the imagination, right? It's going to be about what style you can create your avatar in virtual world or VR or meta or whatever. So it's just a fun process. And so here it's going to be more about the way you imagine things, the way you see things, versus some kind of rules of how stylization should be done.